Hi, everybody. Welcome. Oh, always something happening in Cowtown. I know. 101 already? I guess. Okay. Gosh, what the hell is that? It's always one. Like, I really tried to kind of like what was I doing this morning? What was I doing this morning? Good morning, Lexi. I was trying to braid my hair back, but my hand couldn't do it. Oh, Charlene has power now. That's good. So it was very difficult for me to braid. So I braid it part way and then put it up in a little ponytail. But man, my hair just has its own freaking mind. That's all there is to it. So, welcome to the craziness of the world. You know, Crystal Grid class starts tomorrow. I'll be sending out the link later on, probably in the next couple hours. And it's $25 if you are wanting to join me. I sent out a list of crystals for people, and I sent out some information and stuff like that that we will be. We're not going to be utilizing it all. Some of it's just for your own reference and stuff to have. So I'll be mainly covering crystal grids and working on the crystal grids and what they can do and how to activate them, where to put them, etc. So we'll be working on that tomorrow. So if that interests you, come on in, join me. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Now, I was going to cover a little bit about crystals just today, just to give you guys a sort of incentive to join me. Yes. um, when I buy crystals, I don't buy one crystal. That's why I have so many crystals. Like, meaning that I don't like, if I'm going to buy amethyst. Come here, guys. Come here, guys. I got a grid set up over here. I'm just taking it down. So I have grids set up all over my house. So when I buy crystals, I buy more than one. This is amethyst. Okay. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10. I got more. I knew I had more. There's more than that. So in this one, and it's the thing. It's like, don't go out and just go crazy. 10, 11, 12, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. And then I have tumbled. So I do have a bunch of tumbled amethyst. That's just my amethyst one. And then I have larger ones for amethyst. And then I do have chunks of amethyst around too. So when I work with crystals, what I do, and this is what I advise people, find a crystal you want to work with. I know they're all beautiful, they're all lovely, and you just want the whole store, right? But when you're just starting out, because it can get very expensive, like a little tray, when you pick up a tray to go put all your crystals in, can end up being $200. This is where, you start and looking at, okay, what is it that I'm working on in my world? Like, what am I working on in my realm? And when you start to look at what you are wanting to create in your realm, right? Then you can look at the crystal that's associated and the grid that you want to build. Now, my grids are an outline, and you can change the grid, do whatever you want with the grid. If you want to do a different grid, you can do a different grid, like it's up to you. I just give you the information and the tools. The rest is up to you when I do the classes. Now, I have a lot of blue lace agate, and I think I have some sodalite, quite a bit of sodalite. Howlite, I have a lot of howlite. Leptiolite, and rose quartz, and clear quartz and smoky quartz. I have a lot of quartz. I love quartz. I love to work with quartz. Quartz is hard. It is a 10 for hardness, so it's really hard. It's very difficult to break. So I like to work with quartz, and quartz has a very high frequency, so it can hold the vibration extremely longer than per se some other quartz. I do have some selenite that I do work with. Selenite is very soft. So selenite is like a 2 or a 3. It breaks off, crumbles very easily. I know people put selenite over their doors. They put selenite, on top of their crystals and that because it can do a clearing. Like it's very good for clearing. I love damberite. Damberite is a very beautiful one. Damberite is for the higher chakra. It looks hard, but it's not. It's probably a 4 or 5 for hardness. Crystals can do so much. I mean, they hold the energy and they can hold a vibration 24/7. I will be covering how to cleanse and clear them and in cleansing and clearing them, and then how to continue to cleanse and clear them. And some of the ways that I may do it may not be the ways that you were taught, which is fine. Just have an open mind when you are, you know, when I'm, whatever class you go into, right? We're in Gemini, Jupiter's in Gemini for a whole year till next June. But it's to have the beginner mind is so important. To have the beginner mind means like, yeah, I want to learn. Like you might have taken Reiki before and you're retaking the Reiki. And it's really good to go in to Reiki with an open mind because each teacher teaches differently and each teacher has information to give you in different ways. So having an open mind in learning things, and also it's really good to, you might not like how a person teaches, you might not like how they present the information. That's a good thing too, because now right? So, the reason why I'm keeping it at $25 is just allowing people to come in, get to know who I am. I know I get my regulars coming in, but if you have friends or people that would love to learn this class, please let them know. It not only helps me, but it helps with spreading out the information even more. Because even though you may not like the way I do it, maybe they find, but I really want to learn more about crystals, and they join some crystal group or another crystal place where they have other types of classes. So crystals are I love to grid and do the gridding because the gridding there's a fly, go away. Um Gridding helps to create an energy, an activation. Some people are extremely sensitive to grids, and how they feel when they enter a place. They can, some people are extremely sensitive. They can pick up the energies right away. I used to always put, when I used to do really big expos, I used to put the angel wheel around, and activate an angel wheel around. And it was amazing how some people could not come in to the angel wheel, and other people just came in and they just sort of like, oh my God, I just love it here. And they could feel the vibration, right? So it's interesting how people can pick up the vibrations of what you are doing. And some people can't. Some people are just like, oh yeah, whatever. Some people love crystals and can really pick up on the vibrations of a crystal. They can hold it. They can start feeling the tingling of it. Other people, no. And I'm a person that I can sense it. I know it. I know when it's activated. I get sort of a knowingness, or I'll hold on to a crystal. And sometimes I'll just hold on to it because it feels good. Other people will, pick it up and say, "Oh, it's tingling. Ooh, my head feels light. Ooh, this is crazy." Um, and it's not even a crystal, it's a meteorite that's ever done that for me is Tektite. So, utilizing moldavite or anything like a Tektite, which is this one. Tektite is a type of meteorite, and when you hold it up, it's green. It's not, it looks black, but it's not black, and you can usually see somewhat through it. So Tektite is one. So, and it's a meteorite, so it's not from this planet. And I find Tektite is really good for people with ADHD. I can feel the vibration, I can pick it up, but I can't hold it for too long because it can make me very lightheaded and dizzy. right? So if you're using Tektite. Now, when utilizing crystals are, when I used to it's funny, my Dragonfly Wellness just came out. I was just gonna talk about massage. Want a massage? Go to Dragonfly Wellness. Um, when I used to do a lot of Lomi Lomis and do Reiki healings, I would usually grid my bed and have my bed gridded, and that helped to anchor a lot of positive energies in it. It really helped to cleanse and clear whatever somebody was coming in with it. And also, if you are doing any chakra clearing and stuff like that, is to getting the stones in that are aligned to the chakras. Now, on that point, not every, like, I know they always say, blue lace agate, is great for the throat chakra, right? Because it's this, similar color. Sodalite is great for there, and it's also good for the third eye, sodalite. But sometimes you might find that if when you follow your intuition, you might want to put an amethyst there. There might be a clearing. So the amethyst, because amethyst is really good at clearing things too. And or you might find that the person needs um amethyst around their because they suffer from headaches. Now that's, since my accident, I've been using a lot of amethyst because amethyst really helps to relieve headaches, especially black amethyst. If you got black amethyst, like I have some, there's bits of black in this, and it's an amethyst that is actual black, but black amethyst is absolutely fabulous for headaches and helping to relieve headaches as well. So utilize, doing work with crystals is, to me, helps to enhance whatever you're doing. It can help to create more of a balance with whatever you're doing, helps to calm the anxiety, the nerves. Sometimes, with, if Mateus is sick, I'll give him a crystal. And he's like, oh, like he pulled out all my crystals. It's funny, but he'll take the crystals and he'll just like, oh, that just, yes, I just want to hold this one, mama. Yeah, that makes me feel better. So he's a little one who can really pick up on the vibrations of the crystals. And taking him into a crystal shop is really interesting because he'll pick up crystals and he go, oh, that's for Papa. Oh, that's for Uncle Eddie. Oh, that's for so and so. Like, it's just, and then he'll pick up one, he'll carry it around. He goes, nope, not that. And put it back and say, it's this one. So that's the other thing, is that crystals, each crystal is different, even though it might look the same or have, similar characteristics, right? But every crystal has a spirit in it. And the spirit of the crystal is the one that calls you. So that's why sometimes you'll go through and you'll be in a crystal shop and you'll go through the different crystals, right? And you'll pick up a crystal and you'll say, oh, no, 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 that one. Oh, yeah, this one has to come home with me, because each one has a spirit in it. And it's also, that's the other reason why I really like when people sort of focus on one crystals at a time, getting to know because they're like little kids. Oops, there you go. Jumps all over the place. They're like little kids, right? So they have their own, yes, they have the same sort of energy, the synergies, and work really, really well together in the vibrational frequencies. But getting to know them and like sort of getting to know the frequencies within them, and getting to know that spirit, that helps you in manifesting and creating that of what you're putting your energy out into as well. So just a little FYI on that. So yeah, so very, very cool on that. So there you go. That's sort of an overview of the class tomorrow. And the class tomorrow is from 10 till probably noonish. It's going to be a couple hours. And we're going to be working on the grids. So let's get in the cray of the energies. Today is the 3/4 square moon. And the 3/4 square moon is meaning that the moon is waning. So there's a lot of frustration, a lot of craziness that people are feeling as the moon is waning down. I'm going to my notes here. So as the moon is waning down, this is where it's where you might find, a lot of abrasiveness. And we also have where Mars is not very happy where he is. It's just not happy. And this is where also where Mars is. Mars is where um this is where you can find, especially men, very harsh or brass, feeling very um, pushy. So that real masculine energy. This isn't really a time. I wouldn't say it's a good go out on a date for the first time weekend. Not at all, because you might find that the person that you're getting hooked up with, or you tindered with, or you picked up, or whatever it is, um you're just going to find the energies a little bit off, especially where Mars is. So Mars is going to bring in a little bit of a different frequency right now. He's, as I say, he's not very happy, and you have that North Node, right? So Mars being in Taurus is like, it's it's heavy. It's, he would rather be across the street. So remember, his home is in Scorpio. He wants to get out there. He wants to push things to the limit. I don't know if you know any Scorpios. What about buying a car for the weekend? It's abrasive. It's an abrasive weekend. Like, you can go look at cars. I mean, I put it this way: whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. I mean, um, you just have to. It's just, yeah, it's abrasive. So you might have a pushy salesman. You might have a salesman that really wants, especially, most car salesmen, no offense, there are female car salespersons, but are men. So it could be a very abrasive, very pushy person, right? So just be aware of that. And if you feel that, that's what you just have an understanding. So the moon is squaring the sun, and it's a 3/4 waning. And this is where it's also having some creative energy within it too. Finding some creativity, finding things that you enjoy doing, right? Being comfortable in what we have to do. So this isn't about starting something brand new and trying to figure out the instructions. So if you're not good at IKEA furniture, don't go out and buy a brand new um, bookshelf system, TV thing, to put your stuff in, and you have to put things. You might find it a little bit uncomfortable, but this weekend you might find it a little bit too abrasive. So it's like slowing down. Don't want to strain, so it's not straining yourself. So not overworking what it is that you feel you really have to get done, and don't get obsessive. So in saying that, this is where you're going to find where a lot is coming and getting heightened up. We're also entering into the weekend just before the election in the UK, and we just finished the debate with what's his face, with Biden and Trump. And I don't, I knew it was going to be it was going to be a show. Really, it was going to be a show, and it was a show. You saw how it's just, you just saw the decline of an old man standing up there trying to answer questions, and some of them he didn't really understand, even after training for this for over 2 weeks at Camp David, and he knew all the questions going in, and was having a very difficult time in answering some of the questions. It's, I mean, I don't know, can you call it elderly abuse? So it is on a humane thing, it was, yeah. And you just where Mars was and Taurus, and knowing Trump's chart, it's just anything right now that they're pushing at him, it's just fueling it for everything to get more heightened within his chart. If he ignored, if they ignored him, if they didn't try to aggravate him, he probably would have just like gone on to the golf course and gone on his merry way, and fuck you all, and I'm going to just live my life out. But when you poke, he's another one. When you poke the bear, and with his chart, the more you poke it, the more you are going to see things come up. And that's also where, especially with Jupiter and Gemini, and he is a Gemini, with that Jupiter energy in Gemini, that's where you're going to get what I call the Streisand effect. The Streisand effect is when Barbara Streisand had a Malibu home on the side of a cliff, and pictures were taken of it, and she wanted to kibosh it, and it didn't get kiboshed. And she has a Jupiter in Gemini. It just exploded. More people were like wanting to see it. She had more helicopters over her place instead of just ignoring the whole thing. We're seeing the same thing with here in Calgary with Tommy Robertson. Tommy is a UK bloke, and came over to he first came over to see some people that he knew, and meet some other that wanted to work with him. And he went through a 3-hour interview and everything through Montreal and stuff, and they allowed him into the country. Now, he is one that the UK doesn't like because he is an outspoken bloke, and he's really protested a lot of things that the United States or UK is doing, including immigration. And he's been called being prejudiced. He's been called all kinds of names. He's not. I mean, one of his best friends is black. Another friend of his is Sikh. He has Muslim friends. I mean, he's not. He wants proper protocol when it comes to immigration and not letting anybody and everything in and having open borders. So he's been speaking out a lot about that, and freedom of speech and the 2-tier of the police. Anyways, he was arrested here in Calgary without being charged. He was taken down to immigration to the Harry Hayes building, and he has to report in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to them. He had to surrender his passport, or he would have been thrown in the remand center and sent off to a holding center in Vancouver. So he surrendered his passport. He's not allowed to leave basically southern Alberta, from north of the 49th parallel to south of Red Deer. That is it. He cannot cross the border into BC. He cannot cross the border into Saskatchewan. So he's stuck in Calgary. And he's stuck here till further notice. And he's even said, the immigration officers have said, this is blown up bigger than what they thought it would. So now they're trying to figure out how to handle it. So the powers that be are holding him. And the longer they hold him, the bigger this is going to be. Jordan Peterson, he was supposed to have do a podcast with Jordan Peterson. Jordan, I think, is coming, and Tammy, his wife, are coming to Calgary and going to be doing an interview. Big Red and I can't remember the other girl's name. They have a podcast together too, and they he was on that podcast. He's been on some big podcasts from the UK as well. So it's like mainstream media is slowly getting even the information of what's going on. So this is going to blow up bigger than what is expected. Instead of just letting him, and he was allowed to do the talks that he's doing, they were planned after he got here, and there was no restrictions on his passport or immigration for him to do that and stuff. Anyways, it's just interesting to see how things like that get blown up. So if you're trying to suppress something, if you're trying to hide something, Jupiter in Gemini is just going to explode it, right? So if there's something that you don't want people to know about, or something gets leaked out and that you're trying to hide it for whatever reason, then it's better off just to ignore it and let it die instead of making a big show of it. And the other thing is where Mercury being in Cancer means it wants to be comfortable. It doesn't want to be disrupted. It wants, I just want comfort, and I just want to be okay. So it'll do something even illegal in order to make sure that it stays comfortable in its way. And in doing that, that means it's going to explode. Something's going to come out from it, because you're eventually going to, especially when he goes further on and then goes retrograde in the next month or so, it's just all going to hit the fan, right? So it's not worth trying to fudge something, hide something, try to get away from something because it's making you uncomfortable. And Mercury also in Cancer, it'll say, "But I want to be comfortable. I don't want to get off the couch." No, you got to get off the fucking couch and do whatever it is that you have to do. And if it is that you have to face the piper about something, then you have to face the piper. Like me going into physio. Like whatever is to unfold is to unfold, right? And that's the whole thing. Sometimes you don't want things to be exposed. You don't want certain things to um for people to know whatever it is. Um but I feel like it's like almost where I'm trying to think of a scenario that I've had things happen to me. There's so many people calling me out for being a white supremacist. I'm very good at ignoring shit like that because I think it's funny. When people call me a white supremacist or white privileged, I even laugh even more because usually those people who are calling me white privileged are more privileged than I am. Um, or I can't, or another one is like, "Oh, you can only read white people. You can't read native people." And I just like, whatever. Like that's your thing. God bless you. You think what you want to think. And sometimes it's not worth it, you know. I you have old people, right? I have trans people, I have gay people, I have lesbians, I have pan people, I have bisexual people that have come to see me. I don't give a freak who you are. It's your, when especially when you're doing readings and stuff, it's like I'm reading what it is that I need to read or bring in the energies that need to come in and the light. So that's it, because right now it's like you could get, you got to balance. It's balancing out your life right now and looking at what is good for you in your life. We're gonna see, especially with the aftermath, we're going to see some crazy thing happen with the aftermath of this whole debate thing. So this possibly could have been a setup to allegedly have Biden have a fall, bang, 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 and then all of a sudden bring somebody else in. So because there's still the Democratic um convention that has to happen to see if he will be the head of the Democratic Party. Same with the one for what do you call it? Trump, whatever his name is, Trump. They still have to have for him to be the person on there. And the other thing too is that the United States hasn't had a debate this early, right? So will he crash and burn during that debate? Oh, he did crash and burn during the debate. It was last night. It was it's funny because I went on TikTok and all the sort of the I think the left, is it the left? I don't know, left or right. All of the woke that are on there that were for Biden, she's like, listen to Trump. Trump didn't answer. No, Trump just knows how to work the room, right? And he was calling him like he was just like calling him like you're stupid. You're the worst president ever. You have destroyed the economy. Like he was just like trashing him. And you would see it was almost like I don't know. It's like almost like I don't know if that was Biden or not at times because sometimes his eyes went and then and then he sort of like went down and sort of mumbled something. So and I think that's why they had the mute button too because of and Trump did well. Like he respected the mute button. He respected it. I think he did fairly well for that debate. Um of course there's going to be political answers to things. Uh whoever gets in, like I mean that's if there is an election. I keep on saying that if there's election, um things are just going to be crazy. Now, here in Canada, I just heard Turban Boy Turban Boy just did something. Um, he supposedly has had enough with his coalition with Trudeau. So something's going on with Turban Boy, which is interesting. So Turban Boy is having something going on. So there's something going along with the coalition. I don't know if he's stepping away. Haven't heard the whole thing about it, but that's going to be interesting because that's going to change everything when it comes to. I mean, if Turban Boy, like, he's such an idiot because he says things and he like, we're gonna lower prices in the grocery store. You have no, you can't, buddy. You don't have a say over that. It's a democracy, and that's part of these looking at the three-quarter square waning. Does the abrasiveness, feeling like slow, this is about feeling like slowing down, and you don't want to strain. You don't want to strain yourself. Just basically, take a look and see how things are going, right? Trump was very controlled, I thought, and kept his emotions mostly out of it. He did very well. He did. I was quite amazed, but he was just basically, for him, his probably the people around him said, you know what, let Biden do what Biden does because he's going to crash and burn. And that's exactly what happened. So the crash and burn definitely happened. And if he might fall or something, or crack his head open, break a hip, or some kind of crazy shenanigans are going to happen, that it's going to take him out. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm just spewing stuff out to see, but it's interesting. Now, what I'm more concerned, I'm kind of, is this where Mars is, and as Mars creeps closer to Uranus, right? And where Neptune is in Pisces at that tipping edge. That's why you're having crazy weather. I mean, you got both. You have Uranus that, in an earth sign, he's electrical. That's going to cause different types of electrical storms, tornadoes, earthquakes, etc. So you're going to see more extremes when it comes to the weather patterns. It could be HARP, it could be Gates, it could be whoever. But with the planets where they are, it's just going to make them more extreme. And where Neptune is, you're going to see crazy weather patterns when it comes to rain. Torrential rain. I mean, UK is having crazy rain. France had a flood warning out in some of the areas in France. So different areas are crazy with different rainfall and things like that is happening at this time. So we're going to see it. I know people have said, well, they said there'd be a drought. The summer's not over yet, because when Uranus goes retrograde, that's when everything can go and take a big flip around. So hang on. Saturn has stopped and it's going retrograde tomorrow. And Lilith is in opposition of this. This is not to get obsessed on how reality is to look. This is not to obsess on, this is the way I want things to look. This is the way I want things to be. Not with Lilith in an opposition. Because it'll just, that could cause extreme disruption, right? So you don't want to cause the extreme. You don't want to cause things to get more abrupt than what they already are. So a lot of volatile energy there. And it's really, pushing people to many different limits that are happening at this time. And it's to take everything in stride, man. Just take everything in stride. So my wrist is a little sore. She did some massaging on it today. She didn't touch my neck and stuff today, which is good, because when she did it on Wednesday, and then I had a massive headache, and it just really bothered for me to see, to do any screen time or anything like that. So I was really kind of out of it. So it really took me for a loop. So she didn't do anything on my neck, but she will next Wednesday. So I said it was just releasing toxins, which it probably was, because she did some cupping, and that really releases a lot. And it's been a long time since I've had cupping done. So thank you for all who've sent their payments and stuff. And for those that I know, don't worry about it. I know. She's speaking in tongues. All right. What do we got? What do we got? Ooh, wide open. Look at, oh, I love the butterfly in that. Look how she's standing on top there. She's just open, just being wide open for spirit, being wide open to the divine coming to you, allowing for that, because that divine, that wide openness is allowing for transformation to come forth for you. If you're getting like hung up on um the weather patterns, or you're getting hung up on the politicians. I like to talk about the politicians. I don't get hung up on them. I just think it's really funny how things are transpiring with them, and for knowledge, but not to, yeah, it is what it is, right? um but that's the other thing, is it's you got to be what you got to be open. You're free to express your uniqueness to the world and share it in all the bounty, life, endless possibilities. So be wide open, be you, allow yourself to, this card is the sign of a maverick. Freely roams the wide open spaces and possibilities, allow for a greater view, a greater vision to replace old views as your dreams are grander. So open up to the greatness, allow it. And with that, ooh, we step into the unknown. See, that's the thing, is like sometimes we want to open up and we want the grandeur and stuff like that, but then we have to step into the unknown, right? Stepping into that place that we may not be able to control, right? And it's an adventure. Life is an adventure. New opportunities will arise that you won't know how to deal with. This is one of those times. You are required to trust that this new phase. So things are opening up. A new phase is coming in. Oh, and it's coming in. You're going to be you're going to be feeling that within the next, I'm going to say right now, you're starting to feel it. Things are changing, but you won't have all the answers. So you got to trust, you got to have faith. Put your faith in the divine. Put your faith in the divine mother. Like it's entering into the sacred hearts, entering into the sacred heart of Mary, allowing for you to enter that, because that's going to allow for you to know that you are going to be safe, that you are going to be able to expand, that you're going to be able to step forward. So stay aware as you discover new and marvelous territories and value the treasures. So there's lots there, and the details. The details are going to come. When you trust, the clarity is going to come. Things are going to come in for you. It's stepping out and saying, okay, I'm ready. I'm open. And information starts to come in. But if you are trying to block it all, if you're saying, no, I don't want to know, I don't want to do this, then it's like, you got to pay attention. This is a time to be aware of the fine print in all areas of life. Look at the details. The details are going to come in. Things are going to come in and say, hey, look at this. We're taking you to new territories. It's to be aware, right? So, for instance, I tell people to stock up. I tell people to do certain things. It's to be aware, to be prepared, and knowing that, okay, you know what? The power could go out. So the power went out in Moose Jaw. Or there could be radical windstorm that comes in that takes everything out, so that you have to say, okay, I have to be prepared. I'm open. I'm open to the newness. I'm open to things. I know that there's going to be unknownness, but I still got to be prepared, right? It's not just going willy-nilly into things. It's understanding, right? It's knowing that it's not to turn your back on what's happening in your country and say, oh, whatever, I'm just going to go by the seat of my pants. No, it's not about going by the seat. This is not a time to go by the seat of your pants, right? It's good to have an eagle's perch, to understand, to see, oh, I see what's coming in. I understand. That's okay. There's a bunch of jerks over there. I'm going to be really focusing on there. I know the jerks are over there, but I also know where the light is and where I need to focus on my light and have that light come in. And know that it came in upside down, but there's a one ring circus. A one-ring circus. Whew. So if you think that the sun won't rise without you, then it's time to change. Perhaps you believe no one will be there to help you, or you expect you have to do all the work. So there you go. In not going forward and not stepping up and being open and being prepared, you probably think like, oh, well, no one's going to be there for me. Nothing's ever going to happen. I'm going to be all alone in my misery. So this is fear-based. Meaning for this card suggests that someone else may be trying to control you. Could be. This needs to be addressed. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. You can be open, but you can still set the boundaries. And you better do it now before Saturn goes retrograde, because it's going to be, boundaries are going to be out the door when he goes retrograde. It's just going to be, I'm going to say, a little bit of a shit show till November. Well, So be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. So my readings are still on sale until Sunday. So if you are wanting to book a reading, definitely get a hold of me. We also have the Crystal Grid class tomorrow. And if you want to join, alone with my dog. So have a blessed, blessed day, everybody. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless you in all that you say and all that you be and all you do. Have a fabulous day, a fabulous weekend, and let your light shine. So we'll talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.